There he is, look. Me and our lad, eh? Now then, here we are. Me and Mutt out on an adventure by a lovely reservoir, which is actually one that I know fairly well because I learnt to windsurf here when I was younger. And we're going to get out for a wild camp. And embarrassingly, as you may have noticed, I've come out underprepared. It absolutely started persisting it down when I got to the place that I've parked, and I do not have a jacket with me. So luckily I've got this umbrella which was in my mum's car, because that's what I'm in, because mine's getting an MOT this week, and I've been able to keep myself dry. Although it has stopped raining now, but as you can see it is pretty dark and gloomy up there, so I'm keeping this with me just in case. This is actually the second time I've used this brolly this week, and the first time was even more embarrassing than this one. And that is because I went to meet a girl for a date, and it was a first date, so obviously first impressions count and all. And as I turned up about half a mile away from the actual restaurant I was meeting her, the heavens just completely opened. I mean, torrential rain, and obviously turning up like a drowned rat would not be the way forward if possible. So I scurried about in the back of the car like a rat, and I found this. So I turned up instead with this. So I always say you can't actually be embarrassed if you own it. So I owned it. I owned my feminine side with a little umbrella. Anyway, the date went really well, and she's the second woman that I've ever met that has actually exceeded her photos. She was beautiful. And the first date about 10 years ago that exceeded her photos, I literally turned up, spent about half an hour talking to her, and if I could have climbed through that tiny toilet window to get away, I would have done, because I have honestly never met anyone as boring in my life. And from that day on, I completely realised that it's all about depth of conversation for me. I need someone that can stimulate my brain. So, and maybe some other things, but anyway, let's get on and pitch a tent somewhere. Right, this is camp then. We've got a nice flat bit of grass here. We've got the sounds of a trickling stream in the background, and in the distance I can see the reservoir still, and we are hidden away in a secret valley. Awesome, eh? So let's get this camp set up. Boom! The Abisko Friluft 2 tent from FJALLRAVEN, and like the rest of their tents, she's an absolute beauty. I've used a minimal amount of pegs tonight. We've got 6 just holding the base down there, and then there's 1 either side holding out the air vents, which hopefully will reduce the amount of condensation we've got. But we're just sat in the most beautiful little valley here, and look at this. Even the nasty horrible things are beautiful. We've got these thistles here that are just stunning, as well as my stunning dog. Anyway, the midges are starting to bite, so we're going to get the kit inside, and then we can set ourselves up, have some dinner, and we'll talk some more rubbish, eh? Hey Bluey, you are fond, aren't you? You're also very wet on your undercarriage, and as you can see, that has transferred down to my mat here. Yep, that was you. That was you. It's alright mate, don't you worry. Luckily tonight I've got a waterproof bivvy bag which is going to protect me and my down sleeping bag from that manky horrible thing there. I love you really. And this is the PHDesigns Snowline bivvy, and it's an insulated bivvy bag which just helps with the moisture management, which is very important when you're in a bivvy bag, because obviously you can get quite a lot of moisture building up. And inside that I have not actually got a sleeping bag, I've got a sleeping bag filler. So this is from PHDesigns again, and it's part of their K series, which means it's ultra lightweight. I think it weighs like 340 grams this, and it just adds another layer to your sleep system, so you can wear that inside a sleeping bag, or what I've just done here tonight is inside this bivvy, and that hopefully will keep me warm enough for this evening. Right, for dinner I am going to have sweet and sour chicken with rice, and this is an army ration pack, and believe it or not, it's actually in date. It never normally is for me. I'm also going to have some rice just to bulk that out a little bit, and Blue is having some very boring dry food there with a wet pouch as well. But to make it a little bit more flavoursome and nutritious for him, I've also got this, which is AXEL'S ELIXIR bone broth, and as you can see, it's completely liquid at the minute, but it comes in little frozen sort of pouches. The dog loves them frozen. He loves just chewing on them as they are. But tonight I'm just going to pour this over his dry food, and as I say, it's just going to be a lot nicer for him, and the nutritional value of it is just absolutely spot on, because we need to keep our dogs living as sprightly as possible for as long as possible, especially this one, eh? He's a good lad. So I'm going to get some food on, and then I'll bring you back once I've got a cup of tea and I can bore you with some more tent waffle, eh? A nice cup of tea. Although between that tea and my hot dinner, I got a right sweat on, so I had to take my down jacket off. But dinner was satisfactory for me. It has filled a hole at least. The dog, I think, thoroughly enjoyed his, because even when he finished it all, he kept licking that bowl until I took it off him, because they've been out left of the bowl, I don't think. And now we're sat inside the tent, hiding away from the midges, which is a good thing. But tonight I did not bring a chair, and I wish I had, because then I'd be able to sort of sit back in it. So I'm having to actually use my muscles to sit myself here, which isn't a bad thing, is it? Keeping your posture well and all. So what have I been up to? Well, I have been on a very hot date. I have been on a couple of group hikes. I've been on plenty of adventures on my own to the Lake District and beyond. I've had a couple of group camps, one of which was my Patreon camp, which was just an absolutely brilliant weekend, spending some time with familiar faces who have been part of the Patreon for quite a while, and also some new faces too. And we just went out on a couple of awesome hikes. We sat around a fire, drank some beers, went to the pub, drank some more beers, and because we're at the Coniston Hall campsite, we are by the lake there, so a few people went out on the water as well. But it was just brilliant. The first hike I took them on was up to the summit of Weatherlam, and we got about halfway up and we were just thinking, this is too much. The weather was honestly horrific. We had like 40 odd mile an hour winds with driving rain at us, and we were all getting a little bit cold, so we were just deciding whether to carry on to the summit or retreat back to safety. But in the true Bushman and Blue fashion, we went to the summit and endured the torturous rain, and then we skedaddled as fast as we could back down to safety. And then we all got in a nice shower, not together, just to get warm, and I just put a massive down jacket on because I was cold to the bone after that one. But that was a great adventure. And then the following day I took everyone on a hike up the Old Man of Coniston, and the weather was a lot better that day, albeit a little bit cold and windy. But I also took them into one of the old mines, and that is just an epic place to go. We all had our head torches on and we just explored the whole lot. Absolutely crazy, really. But yeah, it's just awesome with the Patreon. Lovely people, just great fun, and it's just nice to see the guys again, and I do look forward to the next one. So if you're interested in joining the Patreon and joining us for the next camp, then check out the link in the description, and at least you'll get an idea of what you can do there. What else have I been up to? Well, I've continued running and I've now got my park run time down to 17:27. Boom. I am well happy with that. And I feel now if I keep plugging away at it that I might actually drop into the 16s. So that is my next personal challenge. I did a fell race the other day, which I did pretty well at, and I also feel that if I continue doing some more fell races that I could get this skinny old body trained up to do some faster ascents and descents and start mixing it up with some of the bigger boys there as well, although some of them are half my age. Although there's always a vet's prize. So anyway, that's on the cards as well. I've also done a couple of races in the Harrogate District Evening Summer League, and the first one I shocked myself with really, because there was about 400 runners and I came 9th, and this is out of 14 different running clubs in the area, and I came 9th, so I was well happy with that. And then the second race I came 12th, so again out of about 400 runners. So I've got 2 more races with that, so hopefully I'll continue with that sort of positioning, and with it I might get the Vet 45 prize if there is one, because I was the first Vet 45 in the last race and I was second Vet 45 in the first race. So I feel that keeping my old body trained and fit, it just means that I can do more in life. And as I've said before, use your body whilst it still works, because there's so many people who get to retirement age and their bodies are knackered and they just can't do much. So get yourselves outside and enjoy it as much as possible. Sticking with the running theme, this is a new trail running head torch from Fenix, and it is the HM65RT for trail, I'm guessing, version 2. And it's got a couple of brilliant features on here, starting with a built-in whistle. So that is just awesome that you've always got that to hand. And then secondly, we have this BOA adjustment system, which is just on a very simple dial. And if I just pop that on my head, and I'll do some role play. So you can imagine running along and sometimes your head torch might not be tight enough, and I've had it before where it sort of starts coming down onto your sort of eyes. So rather than taking it off and having to readjust all the buckles to make it sort of suit, literally just give it a twist and you can tighten and slacken it just like that. It's just brilliant. And also, if you are changing your headwear, so maybe you'll put a cap on while you're running, or even when you're out camping and you put a woolly hat on, again, it's really awkward when you're having to mess about and readjust all the buckles just to sort of suit the thicker diameter. And with this, you just have to give it a quick twist. So it's just honestly brilliant. It's got quite a nice wide headband as well, so that's nice and comfortable. There's 2 LEDs in here as well. We've got a white light, which is a 1600 lumen, and that's great because obviously you can see very far into the distance with that. But if it's foggy or misty at all, that is quite an awkward one because it reflects back a lot of the light off the moisture in the air. So then it's better to have a warmer light. So if I just sort of show you the white light, let's have a look. Oh, sorry, that's the yellow light. And that obviously is adjustable. Let's turn that one off, and then if I put the white light on, you can see again that is adjustable too. But there's 2 very different colours with that. There you go. Both LEDs on the lowest setting will last for 24 hours, and that is 130 lumens. And generally that's enough light to see where you're putting your feet on sort of more flatter terrain like on road or tracks. But if you are on more technical terrain and you do need to see where you're putting your feet because you're moving quicker, like on some sort of fell race or something, then you can obviously bump it up to the top setting, which is 1600 lumens, and that will literally just light everything up in front of you. But it will only last 3 hours. But overall, it's a pretty damn good head torch, and as usual, I'm gonna absolutely smash this about, test it as much as possible, and I will keep relaying the information to you guys. Anyway, It has been a pleasure getting out for a bit of a camp in the middle of nowhere, and I have waffled on so much that I need to get myself to bed. So I am going to lay this slug. We'll see you in the morning. Oh yeah, I need to turn you off. Morning, flowers. Well, I slept pretty well last night. Let's have a look at my heart rate data. 35 beats per minute, so definitely a deep sleep. But when I did wake up, I woke up because I was on the edge of being too cold, which is just ridiculous for this time of year. I didn't need to put my down jacket on though, so I always had that as an extra protective layer to keep me warm, but it's meant to be our summer. Anyway, I'm actually now getting too warm. The fact that the sun is trying its best just to come out and it's warming this tent up, and I'm almost having a hot flush at the minute. So I'm going to get myself up, packed away, and see what this day has to offer us, because I have never seen this day before. It is completely new to me, and that is exciting. So let's do it, eh? What do you say, Blue? Look at this dog. He's a happy boy. Look at all this dog hair though. Just absolutely everywhere. He's a good lad, eh? I know, I know. What a beautiful morning. We've got the sound of trickling water in the background and some tweeting birds. There's a fresh breeze coming through here, and the sun is also trying to get out as well. And just look how green it is. That is just beautiful, and that is why green is my favourite colour. Anyway, leave no trace as always. We've just got a bit of flattened grass there, and that is it. So let's skedaddle and get ourselves off onto the next adventure, eh? It's a shame to leave, it always is, but there's more to see in life, isn't there? And there's no point going to the same place twice, I often say. Oh yeah, I'll give Blue the command to lie down, so he's going to stay there until I give him another one. Yeah, Blue! Come on! Good boy! Good boy! Get on then! What an absolutely beautiful day. Lay down. Good boy. Here in the Yorkshire Dales, and another adventure complete and some more memories made, and that is what it's all about, just getting out and enjoying life as much as possible, especially whilst your body works. If you've liked the video, give it a big fat thumbs up and check out the video description, because in there there's links to all the kit that I use, as well as my Patreon and my Instagram. So from me, and the beautiful blue say goodbye. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.